The biggest currency on YouTube right now isn't views or subscribers, it's trust. And the fastest way to build trust is to stop trying to look like a creator and start showing up like a human. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build that kind of trust, not just with your audience, but with yourself. We're deep diving into what it really means to know yourself, to express that on camera, and why authenticity has become the single most valuable growth strategy for YouTube. And just so you know where this is coming from, I grew my channel to over 50,000 deeply aligned subscribers in 15 months by showing up as myself, even when it hurt. And now I teach others how to do the same. And the number one factor behind every single client channel that has taken off wasn't their editing, it wasn't their gear or their posting schedule, it was how real they were willing to get. So let's talk about how to actually do that in this video. Before we jump into the advice, I want to share an email that I got from Shannon this morning that speaks perfectly to this concept. In her email, she said, "Alexa, I commented for the first time the other day on your video, the one about how much we really are sharing ourselves. The next video I made, I followed your advice and I shared my real struggle to survive after being laid off. I jumped from 500 to 2,500 subs over the weekend. My email list doubled with one video, all from taking your advice. The fact that I was able to get these kinds of results from your free content says a lot about you as a person. Please know that you are making a huge difference in the lives of people you may never hear from. Now I'm off to implement more of your strategies. Have a wonderful evening. Love, Shannon, your forever fan." Being yourself is worth it. I can promise you that, and this email proves it for you as well. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is the trap, because we've been trained to perform our entire lives. We've been performing since childhood. Smile, behave, be quiet, don't be too loud, don't make any mistakes, back straight, chew your food with your mouth closed. That same programming follows us online. We think, if I look confident, people will respect me. If I sound smart, people will trust me. If I polish everything perfectly, people will stay in my videos. But that's not what creates connection. You can't fake frequency. People don't believe what you say, they believe what you emit. And when your message doesn't match your energy, you lose them instantly. So why does that happen? Why do we feel disconnected from our own content? The answer isn't tactical, it's personal. It's about learning to hear yourself again before your audience is even capable of doing the same for you. Which brings me to the shift. Knowing yourself is a creative advantage. Authenticity isn't a vibe, it's clarity. When you know who you are, you stop chasing what's trending, and you stop comparing yourself to creators who are playing a totally different game than you, and you start trusting your own voice again. Because clarity is confidence. But you can't be authentic if you don't know who's talking through you. Is it your ego trying to impress? Is it your fear trying to protect you? Or are you speaking your truth and trying to lead from that? Until you get honest about that, your content will always feel off. So let's fix that today. Because once you understand who's really talking through you, everything changes. How you speak, what you create, and how people feel you through the screen. So here are 5 paths to radical authenticity, where you stop performing and you start being. Before you hit record, hit pause. Most creators rush straight into output mode. They're thinking about titles, thumbnails, analytics, but they never stop to ask, where am I at right now? And when you create from pressure, your audience feels it. They don't know why, but something in your energy says, I'm performing and not connecting. Radical reflection breaks that loop. So I want you to ask yourself before you create, what am I actually feeling today? What truth am I avoiding saying? What part of me is trying to prove something and what part isn't? Because whatever you don't face before you record will speak through you when you do record. You can't hide your energy. Your face, your tone, and your pacing will expose it. Reflection isn't weakness, it's calibration. And calibration is how you show up clear, not cluttered. So 2 simple ways to check in with yourself is number 1, the 2-minute journal. Before filming, open a notebook or notes app and write 3 quick prompts. Right now I feel ... What I need to release before recording is ... What I want people to feel after watching this is ... Don't overthink it, just write what's real for you right now. And you'll be amazed how often the act of writing clears the noise before you speak. So for example, right now I feel anxious. What I need to release before recording is this nervous energy. What I want people to feel after watching this video is inspiration, motivation to get up and go after their dreams. So it's as simple as that. The second way to do this is the mirror moment. What you do is you stand in front of the camera or the mirror and you take 1 deep breath and say out loud, I don't need to prove anything today. I just need to tell my truth. Then notice your body, the tension in your shoulders, your breath, your tone. Notice how you relax. That 15-second awareness shift can change the entire vibe of your video. And here's the paradox. When you stop rushing to produce, your content starts producing trust. Your audience doesn't want your performance. They want your processing. They want to see someone who's thinking, feeling, evolving in real time. So if you give yourself even 2 minutes to check in, you'll record from alignment and not adrenaline. And that's the energy people subscribe to. When you slow down long enough to meet yourself honestly, something opens. Space, quiet, stillness. And in that stillness, you start to feel something greater moving through you. A creative pulse, a whisper, a nudge. And that's where we're going next, from self-reflection to co-creation. The second path to radical authenticity is being in flow. You can't fake alignment when you're in flow because ideas meet you halfway. When you're forcing ideas, they don't work. And that's not mystical, it's neuroscience. Research from Harvard and Stanford shows that when you enter a flow state, it releases dopamine, a chemical that sharpens focus, dissolves self-doubt, and amplifies creativity. In flow, your inner critic quiets down, and the part of the brain responsible for self-judgment literally switches off. And that's why your best ideas come when you're walking, driving, or showering, because your mind is finally relaxed enough to access its full intelligence. Personally, I drop into flow most when I'm either writing or walking in nature. It's that moment when the noise fades, the pressure lifts, and I can finally hear myself again. Whether you call it intuition, clarity, spirituality, or just getting out of your own way, it's like tapping into a deep knowing within you. And the real challenge isn't just hearing it, it's having the guts to trust it and let it lead. So instead of trying to think your way to the perfect idea, create conditions that let it find you. Let intuition guide the first draft of your video. Then use strategy to refine it, not define it. That's the sweet spot, when your truth leads and strategy simply supports it. And I'll give you a quick tip on how to enter flow on demand if you want to. I call it the 10-minute reset. Before you create, step away from every input. No music, no phone, no notifications, nothing. Take a walk, breathe, or sit still and just ask yourself, what wants to be said through me today? Don't chase the answer, just notice what surfaces when you finally get quiet and ask the question. That's your signal beneath the noise. Pay attention to what comes up and record it when it comes through. When you work with your brain's natural flow, ideas stop feeling forced and they start feeling inevitable. But flow alone isn't enough, because the moment your truth begins to surface, guess what else happens? Fear. That's right, fear shows up at your door, which leads us to the third way to achieve radical authenticity. Number 3, taking risks. You can't build trust while staying comfortable. Every time you share something real, you take a risk, because truth always costs something. Comfort, control, your image, approval of others. The moment you tell your real truth, you open yourself up to misunderstanding, judgment, even rejection. And that's exactly why most people on YouTube are not authentic, even though they're trying to be authentic. But what most don't realize is that the people who are meant for you couldn't even find you until you're brave enough to be fully seen. When you hide behind what's safe, you also hide from the resonance that creates real connection. So post the video that scares you. Say the thing you've never said out loud. Admit the part of your story you've been editing out for years. Because your audience can't see you until you show you. And here's what most creators never understand. When you share from that place of truth, you might lose some people, of course, but the ones who stay, they'll feel like it's home. And you'll start to notice that your comments change. Less algorithm noise, more real conversations. You'll attract people who see themselves in your honesty, because courage is magnetic. So if you're afraid of being misunderstood, good. It means you're finally saying something that matters. To be honest, I don't even look at my views anymore or my subscribers. I look at the depth of the comments I receive on my channel, because that's my confirmation that I'm showing up as my true self. When you become vulnerable, it gives your audience permission to do the same. And when they can do that, they feel free. And that freedom, it does two things. Number one, it makes people want to come back, not for your content, but for the connection and how alive they feel. And number two, it helps free the world from the shackles of pretending. The power of authenticity is miraculous. It doesn't just grow your channel, it heals, it liberates, and it creates real positive change in this world. But here's the thing, knowing your truth isn't enough. The real transformation happens when you live it. Which leads us to path number 4 for radical authenticity, and that is action over certainty. You won't find your voice by thinking, you'll find it by using it. Every video is a rep, every post is a mirror. You're not here to get it perfect, you're here to get it out of you. Because clarity doesn't come from planning, it comes from participating. You don't get clear and then act, you act, and through that action, you become clear. Most people never find their real voice because they're too busy analyzing the one they haven't even used yet. They keep waiting for the confidence, but certainty doesn't come before courage. It comes after it. The truth is, you don't discover who you are and then create from that place. You discover who you are through creating. Every upload refines you. Every camera session shapes you. Every time you press publish, you get a little closer to the version of you that actually feels real. So stop waiting to know who you are. Start expressing what you know right now about yourself. That's how your truth evolves, not in theory, but in public. And yes, that's uncomfortable, but discomfort is where authenticity gets trained. When you show up without the guarantee of applause, you build something far stronger than confidence. You build conviction. Action is the proof of belief. And the creators who grow the fastest aren't the ones who think the most. They're the ones who move the most, learn the fastest, and adjust in real time. That's how you'll find your rhythm. That's how you'll find your voice, by using it before you trust it, which you cannot achieve if you don't consider this final path to radical authenticity. Number 5, detachment from the outcome. When you stop creating to get and start creating to give, your energy shifts. The algorithm might control visibility, but your vibration controls connection. When you stop creating for attention, views, and subs, you start creating from intention, and your message gets louder. And authenticity isn't just emotional, it's practical, because in a world full of AI, filters, and copycats, realness is the one thing no one can replicate for you. Polish might attract, but truth retains. The creators winning now aren't the most perfect, they're the most felt. Before I end this video, I want to share some common questions I get about authenticity and also some things to avoid if you want to be successful with this. Common question number 1, what if I don't fully know who I am yet? You don't need to. You don't need to. Authenticity isn't self-knowledge, it's self-honesty. Show up as the version that's real for you today. Let your audience grow with you. I am not the same person I was a year and a half ago when I started this channel. You will evolve so much when you start speaking your truth, and it's a beautiful, good thing. Question number 2, what if people judge me? They will, for sure. I'm sorry, but they will. But they will also love you, because when you stop fearing judgment, you start attracting the people who actually get you. and get what you're saying and resonate with what you're saying. That rejection creates space for alignment with the right people. Another question is, what if I'm multi-passionate or inconsistent? Then talk about it. Authenticity doesn't mean one-dimensional. It means integrated. If it's real for you, it belongs on your channel. I am highly spiritual and connected to those practices. I share those on my channel, even though it doesn't appeal to everyone trying to grow their YouTube channel. And that's okay. I'm not religious, yet I love Think Media and Sean Cannell's advice regarding YouTube growth. He is a Christian. Does knowing that turn me off? No. It's not something I resonate with, but I still value his content, and I respect someone who believes in being connected to something bigger than themselves, which I can relate to with my spiritual practice. So even though we are different, I still like his content. Another question I often hear is, how do I know if I'm being authentic or oversharing? Here's the distinction, and pay attention because this is important. Authenticity shares from power, a place of power, a place of honesty. Oversharing shares from pain. So I want you to wait until you've processed the story, processed the pain before you post it. Speak from the scar, not the wound. Because ultimately, we want to inspire change, to create hope, to propel people forward. And it's very difficult to see the light when you are in the thick of the darkness. So I think that is a clear distinction of what to share and when to share it. Another common question is, can I still be strategic and authentic? Abso-freaking-lutely. Strategy amplifies your truth. It doesn't replace it. So think of it like this. Your authenticity is the fire, and your strategy is the container that lets it burn brighter. Use your authenticity, intuition, gut feelings, spirituality, whatever, connection to something bigger or connection to flow to create your content from that place. But then modify, refine, reiterate with strategy in mind for retention, for engagement, for a series of videos and the like. So now that we've talked about the common questions, I want to talk about things to avoid if you truly want to own your channel. What I'm about to say are the biggest traps that kill authenticity faster than anything else. The first one is copying energy instead of essence. You can borrow frameworks, but not frequency. Over-editing your personality. If you cut out every pause, every laugh, every stumble, every every ah, you cut out your humanity. If you try creating for validation instead of expression, this will kill your authenticity. Because the second you choose approval, your message becomes diluted. The next thing to avoid is performing confidence instead of embodying it. You don't need to sound like you know everything. You need to sound like you mean what you're saying. There's a difference. Another common mistake is mistaking vulnerability for victimhood. Pay attention here, because authenticity doesn't mean dumping all your emotions on your audience. It means showing the lessons learned behind those emotions or as a result of those emotions. So don't arrive in victim mode. Arrive in champion mode. Another quick way to lose authenticity is to avoid silences. Don't be afraid of silence on your channel or in your videos. The pause, that breath, that's where the truth lands. That's when people can feel it, absorb it, and understand what you're actually trying to teach them. The more you trust yourself, the more people will trust you. The more you reveal your truth, the more YouTube reveals your videos. Authenticity isn't a trend. It's the future currency of creation. So this week, stop performing, stop tweaking, stop filtering your light to fit someone else's lens. Ask yourself, what would it look like to build a channel that's actually me? Because that right there is how you stop chasing attention and you start embodying your own intention. And if you're ready to take this even deeper, the next step is understanding why you're here, the gifts you carry within you, the message only you can share, and how to translate that purpose into content that actually changes lives. That's what we're exploring in this next video, how to uncover your unique gifts and turn them into your mission. Check it out, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.